Students, I am MD Azizuddin, lecturer in English, Government Polytechnic College, Nagarjun Sagar, Nalgonda district. So, in this advanced English, you have got some topics as you had in your first semester. So, in this advanced English, the first topic name is expressing obligation. So expressing is nothing but disclosing, and you should know the meaning of obligation. So what do you mean by an obligation? So most of you get some confusion out of it. So it is a grammatical term. So if you go on taking some explanation of it, and you will get totally three senses. The first sense, obligation implies duty, responsibility, and destiny. So to express obligations, and we use has to, have to, must, and should. So where you have to use has to and where you have to use have to, this is very important. Has to is used with third person singular he, she, it, and have to is used with other persons, means I, we, you, they. Okay, with this you should use have to. So he, she, it, you have to use has to. So has to and have to implies external pressure. The second one is must, it implies compulsion, and last one is should. So it is used while giving suggestions for others to do something. Okay, so based on that, let us have some discussion on this topic. So let us have a glance over the slide 2. So this is related to totally expressing obligations. I already told you what do you mean by an obligation. Okay, obligations are nothing but words such as must, have to are used to speak about obligation and some compulsory behavior. Obligation is something that someone required to do. We use have to, must, and must not, need not. So through practice you can learn all these things properly. So in your advanced English, some activities are being given, and based on that, if you do the activities properly, and you will get some practice out of it, you will get some perfection. So it totally depends on your practice, then only you can become perfect. So if you observe the slide number 3, have to, has to, I already told you how it should be used. So it expresses external pressure. We can also use have to talk about rules and regulations. It means, so while you are going by bike, if you are stopped by any policeman and he simply says you have to wear helmet. Okay, so it means here external pressure works here. Okay, so for that, as you didn't wear the helmet, for that you have to pay some fine for it. Okay, so it's very important for you to remember where have to is used. So have to is used, and it implies some about rules and regulations. So suppose if you observe here given two examples, the first example is he has to work the night shifts. So what have you understood here? So you can understand here. So some external pressure works on you, for that has to is used in this sentence. Suppose if you observe the second example, he has to take care of his health. So here also has to means external pressure, and this is sentence particularly used by the doctors whenever they give some suggestions for your ill healthness. So for that you should be very clear where has to is used and where have to is used. So in this lesson you learned something. So the next remaining part of this topic will be continued in our next class. If you have any doubts, so clarify your doubts in our next class. Once again I am giving some surface touch on this topic. So obligations are nothing but, okay, nothing but, so it implies some external pressures, suggestions and compulsions. So there are three words and you should use them in different contexts. So I already what I told you, okay, how these words are used properly in different contexts. So the next further of this topic will be continued in our next class. So see you in next class. Bye all of you.